Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. If you're like me and you own any of the banking tokens, especially like XRP, you need to watch this video. Because guys, we've only been getting one side of the story unless you've been watching my videos, which I get a lot of hate. Now, I should call out some of the influencers that have been lying to the community day in, day out, telling you what you want to hear. But I'm not going to call out the Crypto Hulk or Black Swan Capitalist or Crypto Louie. Because guys, they just haven't done any research. So they tell you what you want to hear, and they've done a lot of research on, say, Ripple, but they've never done any research on JP Morgan or Bank of Mellon or USB or any of the legacy banks to see what they have been doing to not get disrupted. Well, I'm here to tell you, they're not going to be disrupted, and they are starting to get way down their roadmap where you can't deny, guys, the people that dominate, the players that dominate the flow of money and cross-border payments and everything right now are going to keep doing that. Unfortunately, whether we like it or not, the future of Web3, whether it's the metaverse, DeFi, TriFi, Layer 2s, custody, it doesn't matter. The dominant players are going to be from Wall Street and the banking community. And it's not going to be that DeFi or decentralized utopia, guys. And I'm about to prove that to everyone. And just follow along, guys. I know you're going to get triggered, but look, here's the good news. The banking tokens are going to do okay. I own them. I'm not going to sell them off until the bull run, right? But if you're hodling those, you need to watch this and think long and hard of what 5 years down the road is going to look like. Because once you get through this video, you're going to realize just how misinformed you were. Now, bear with me, guys, because look, I think we had the biggest opportunity for the average person in history to change their financial future, but it starts with good information that's non-biased. Hey, if nothing else, get both sides of the facts. You got what the players like We Love, Quant, Link, XRP, XLM, we know what they're doing. Everyone does. But what's the other side? What's JP Morgan doing? What is ING doing? What's Credit Suisse doing? What's Visa doing not to get disrupted? Well, guys, that's what this video is about. Before we get into it, hit that like button and let's go. What you're looking at on the screen is some of those power players we've been talking about. And you can definitely add in like Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. I did a video about 4 or 5 months ago because I watched a podcast with the person as high up as you can get about blockchain with Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. And they talked about DLT, ledgers, tokenized assets. Guys, they've been working on their roadmap for about 5 years, and now it's ready to launch, and it's ready to rock and roll. You know, Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan's been saying for a long time that crypto is a scam, and but DLT technology and blockchain is the future. I used to not understand that, but guys, here's what I know to be true. The bulk of tokens are going to disappear. They're not needed. And when tokenized assets get here, which is going to be dominated by like Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and Wall Street, they're going to be using ledgers or some other technology with smart contracts and that, stuff like that. They do not need the token. Hey, don't take it from me. Watch this video and then do your own research. Guys, it is what it is. But now, Finality has created the first globally regulated, or at least what they're saying, legally regulated payment platform. And it's massive. Now, I created a video a while back talking about this, how they all had a partnership, but it wasn't a big deal because we didn't know anything else. Well, now, guys, they're starting to test it. And check this out. Finality and HQLAX demonstrate the first cross-chain repo swap pilot. Well, guys, it also talks about Sanditar, Goldman Sachs, R3/4, and JP Morgan. And I didn't understand what they were talking about when they said that it's regulated globally. But here's what my suspicion is, because when I hit the link, there's PSR, which is Payment Systems Regulator. So all those power players that you see are trying to get with the world and make PSR the standard so that they will be legit. And then America's going to get on board and regulate down the same pipe, while they are already sitting there ready to rock and roll, are already up and running. Now, guys, I don't like telling you this. I didn't like finding it out, but I knew it was coming, because every day that we get closer to the future, they're getting more stuff put in place. So I started seeing that over the last year to 6 months, and I started to have my suspicion, and I've been saying it more and more. I get a lot of hate, but the facts are, guys, the legacy banks and Wall Street are way out front, and you have no idea what's coming. And that's why, in my opinion, the SEC was weaponized. They have a plan, and it all ties into this system right here. The mega banks and Wall Street have gotten together, IBM, etc. All of them's in there, guys. And these exchanges, like in Singapore and S6, I think that's what it is, they're all part of it. And once they get everything in place, the regulation's going to start matching up, and it's going to make sense. America is not falling behind. They just have a different plan to lead, but they are going to lead where they dominate everything. They want to dominate TriFi, DeFi, the metaverse, the custody avenues. They want you to go down to your bank and say, hey, transfer $10,000 of my cash money into Bitcoin, hold it for me, insure it. If you want to do a cross-border payment, they'll still do it. Instant settlement, they're just going to charge you a fee. But guys, whether we like it or not, people want centralization. America especially has always had a safety net. And you think that decentralization is what you want, but I want you guys to think about it. Right now, let's say you want to send $500 to someone overseas. You could pull up an app and get that done, no problem. However, what if it was real money? What if it's your net worth? What if it was $1 million? Do you want it to be decentralized? And if you mess up, there's no recourse. It's not insured. There's no one to even call. The majority of the world does not want that, especially the average person. And when the adoption kicks in, it's going to be because there's a safety net and it's more centralized. Now, there's going to be parts of decentralization to it, of course. And if we're lucky, Bitcoin will be very decentralized and keep it like it is, but don't hold your breath. But the point is, guys, look, that's why I'm non-biased. I don't care because I don't have a say. I just want to make money from this opportunity. That's why I do this research, and that's what I want for you guys. Now, go to HQLA, read about their stuff. Check it out. And it's the same, it's all tied together. It says, our priority platform is unique in coupling the benefits of DLT with existing tri-party and custody infrastructure, making it easy for clients to improve their collateral mobility and avoid costly intraday liquidity. Now, you can see R3/4 is part of this group. Ripple's probably part of the group. But guys, I've been telling everyone for a long time, the bank's partnerships like with Ripple and R3/4 does not include XRP retail token. Banks do not own or buy XRP, never have, probably never will. And the same with R3/4. A lot of times when you hear these mega partnerships, just like this one, has nothing to do with the XDC token. It is what it is. Now, another thing that a lot of people say, and like for ODL, they talk about how you can get rid of the Nostro accounts. Well, guys, the reason Ripple created its liquidity hub that does not include XRP is because you can't really use ODL around the world, and it's going to be 10, 15 years before you could, even if it was going to be dominant, which it's not. Because you can use it for a leg of it, a corridor of it, but you got to have the Nostro accounts, and you have to use the same systems that are in place now, and it's going to take forever. Hopefully everyone watching this will have changed their financial future before that's even an option. But the point of that is to solve the Nostro issue and get rid of that money where all the banks don't have to do it. Well, this big mega group, along with JP Morgan leading the way, JP Morgan's private blockchain runs $1 billion a day in and out of the repo market. Well, what's the repo market, guys? It's just one big liquidity pool for the power players in the world to use as cash flow as needed for their major corporations around the world, to simplify that. And it's led by JP Morgan, who was the dominant player before they set up this blockchain. So guys, that solves a lot of problems. All these banks are going to be able to share one big liquidity pool in the future. And I knew this was coming because 4 or 5 months ago, that's what they said in the podcast. They said there's not going to be a token, there's going to be smart contracts, everything's going to be tokenized, and it's going to go through multiple ledgers. Now, why I'm thinking about it, no matter what, at least now, Quant and Link and HBAR are going to be needed the most, from what I can tell, for the interoperability of all these things that they're setting up. They've got to have that interoperability. And then HBAR has, and I don't totally understand it, but it has a time stamp mechanism that everyone loves, and that's what FIS Global is partnering with HBAR to do. So it's not settlement or anything like that, but it's transactions where they have to buy the HBAR token. That might be one of the tokens that are going to stick around for a long, long time. Now, to solidify what I'm saying and what I want you guys to understand, in the future, whether it's banking or anything else, the Wall Street and the governments and central banks are going to dominate it. And this is what we see coming right now. It's right in our face. Just follow along. Coinbase just launched their layer 2 base. Well, check this out, guys. I don't like it, but guess who is building and launching on Base, which doesn't have a token. We can't even invest in it. You can buy the stock, which you're going to be able to buy Ripple stock, but you're not going to be able to buy the token of Base. And that's how it's going to look in the future. But look, Coca-Cola and Atari are partnered with Base. We can't invest. Now, we can invest through Ethereum. And whether we like it or not, guys, all through these, everything I'm talking about pretty much is going to use and sit on top of Ethereum some way, shape, or form. It talks about the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance is part of that big group. Most of those players have been pushing Ethereum and the code and the standard, the EVM compatible bridges and all that for many, many years. They've been preparing what they want, and now it's coming to fruition. Now, we already knew that, like, Circle was probably and is probably going to be one of the big boys when it comes to stable coins. I don't know. But you got BlackRock, JP Morgan, Bank of Mellon, and they parked that reserve on the Fed. And remember when they got knocked off of their peg, they called JP Morgan and said, hey, our stable coin's not stable. It needs, I think it was like $1.5 billion to get it back to $1. They just said, we got it, and they covered it. That got my attention for whatever it's worth, and this is not financial advice. That is the only stable coin I personally use, unless I have to when I'm doing some of the trades on some of the exchanges. But, so look at this. Another, and I'm not here to hype Ethereum, but guys, I've said it before, technology only matters if Wall Street, the banks, or the governments can capitalize on it or have a part of it. And that's why everyone, just like PayPal, has launched on Ethereum. And I've seen countless influencers make fun of it, say XRP is better, this is better. So what, guys? No one cares. Wall Street don't care about the gas fees. They care about the bulk of the customers that they're going to have access to because of Ethereum. Guys, I want you to think about something. If you're a developer and you can create something that the world needs, and all your customers, 10x the customers, are sitting somewhere, but you got to pay higher gas fees, you're going to go there. You can go use any other project and have low gas fees, but they don't have the community. Those people are going to have to migrate from Ethereum onto other blockchains. So developers still want to be on Ethereum more than any other project, whether we like it or not. And Wall Street and the banks and the government are not going to stop pushing everything down on Ethereum, because just like in the case of, say, Matic, all those Wall Street firms are using Matic, building on Matic, and cutting their gas fees, but it still goes to Ethereum. And like you got Quorum, Consensus, MetaMask, all that goes through Ethereum. And that's like JP Morgan and half of Wall Street has invested in those corporations that evolve around Ethereum. It's going to be the front runner probably for at least 4 or 5 bull runs. I don't know. One day there may be a different project, but guys, are you here for a 15-year investment? Not me. I personally go bull run to bull run, take my profits, and we'll start over and see what the world looks like then. And I highly recommend you consider that, not financial advice. Now, last but not least, guys, everyone makes a big deal how Fed now is going to use XRP or XLM or all the lies that we hear. There's not one direct correlation, for instance, with Ripple to Fed now. There's some indirect ones, but what we do know is the early adopters were JP Morgan, Bank of Mellon. Not one token like Ripple's not mentioned, XRP's not mentioned, XLM's not mentioned, but JP Morgan, all these power players, Wells Fargo, Bank of Mellon, they're all mentioned. And then the fintech companies that are going to absolutely dominate are like FIS Global and Pfizer Solutions. Guys, that's what the future looks like. The Fed doesn't use blockchain technology, and half these banks are not going to use blockchain technology. They're going to, and then when they do, they're going to set up their own rails, just like this massive group has done. They're using JP Morgan's rails in and out of the liquidity pool, which is the repo market, basically, and I assume I got that right. They may have a different liquidity pool. But the point being is, the banking tokens as we know it are going to maybe fill in those gaps, and yes, they're going to have access to and from, but the power players that move all the money, think about it, guys, they're not out trying to find new customers. When JP Morgan links to Fed now, they've got like $39 trillion of other people's money and assets to run money through if they need the flow of money, if they need the Fed. It's that simple, guys. You can't catch them. Now, I don't mean to harp on that, because, guys, to me, this is all good news, because I knew it was coming, and it makes me feel more comfortable making different bets and trying to front run what these guys are going to do, guys. That's all that matters, in my opinion. So, look, if you don't believe me, guys, surf around. Go to FIS Global. Look at what they're doing with crypto. Go look at the Fed now list of banks. Why did PayPal build on Ethereum, launch on Ethereum? Coinbase. Guys, that's what the future is going to look like. These major corporations are going to come in and they're going to take over everything. And once everything's in place, we'll get regulation, we'll get the spot ETF. But when all that rolls out, it's going to all make sense. The JP Morgans and the BlackRocks of the world and the U.S. government are going to sit back and say, see, and then they're going to take it forward, and that is going to be the biggest opportunity in history. It's going to be explosive. So to me, it's not negative information. Now, for you guys that want to really understand this little story I'm going to tell you, and then I'll let you go, it's going to solidify how easy it will be for the power players of the world to take over crypto. I'll give you an example. Quant. I absolutely love Quant. It's one of the best projects out there. I own it. I love it. And it's needed right now. But they're trying to get people to use it, and they're trying to get to be the go-between of the interoperability between everything that's going on. And they're doing a great job. However, let's think about something. Fast forward 2 or 3 years from now, and Google decides they want to launch a token to compete with Quant. And it's the biggest interoperability token out there. That's what they want. Well, they clone the technology. They got all the money. They can hire the developers. They just clone it, right? Well, here's what people don't understand. I like Quant. I don't want to use Google's token for anything, right? Just like I don't plan on using PayPal's stablecoin, but I'm guessing I will when they tie it to my taxes and I have to damn pay with it. Anyway, bear with me. So right now, if you look at crypto, how many projects use the cloud, the Google Cloud, and how many companies around the world use the cloud? Well, if they roll out their interoperability token and they just send it out to all their customers and say, hey, if you're going to use the cloud, you're going to have to use this interoperability token. That G token, it goes straight to the top 10 first week. That's how easy it's going to be to take over everything. And that doesn't even include using the SEC as a weapon to slow you down and try to put you out of business because they suck up all your money, which is going to work for the majority of people that have to fight the SEC. Luckily, Ripple had the resources and the money behind it, and hopefully they win, guys. I love Ripple. They're going to be a Fortune 100, definitely Fortune 500 corporation. XRP Ledger is great. But they're not going to get the lion's share, guys. They're just not. All right, guys. Hopefully that gave you a good insight of what the big picture is going to look like in the next 5 or 10 years. I highly recommend you trade and take your profits in the next bull run. Who knows what 5 years is going to look like, guys? Who knows? And if we continue these 4-year cycles, no matter which project you're on, pick one. It's coming back. So why would you want to lose the opportunity cost? And if you take 10,000 and you turn it to $250,000 or $500,000, which some of my customers have done, you really want to ride that back down to 40 grand? Guys, I work with people every day in my coaching program that has done that. I have people that have taken a small amount in the last, and this is their third bull run, and they've turned it to a massive amount, and now they're back at still a small amount. Guys, consider 2 things. Take your profits or become the profits and get a game plan. That being said, if you need help with your game plan, that's what my coaching is all about. We get your mindset right. We get your system in place. We get your roadmap in place. We get everything that you need so that you'll know what to do in the next bull run, and you can take full advantage of it and you make good decisions. My coaching is $250. You're going to have 3 to 5 conversations with me, whether it's over the phone or over Zoom. We'll go through your portfolio. We'll get you a game plan that suits your risk reward, and we'll get you on track to capitalize on what meets your risk tolerance. Anyway, guys, I'll leave a link down below. I'll pin that above in my email. Reach out. Either way, guys, hit the like button, come back, be part of this community. And let me know what you think in the comment section. Take care, guys.